Okay, good afternoon. My name is Zulma Soto, and I'm currently taking English 1302. And for question one, I learned how drafting can be done quickly, and you could put only your ideas or explanation that you wanna try them, like give them a taste what you're gonna do. Also, in the past, I wouldn't do drafting, and I would put a lot of effort and time on drafting, and it was like kind of hard, like trying to what I wanted to get to. In this class, I learned trying to put your first your ideas, not your like on the draft. You need to put your ideas, like samples, kind of what you're gonna try to do. And in the this class, in this an example is like right here, is what is my draft for a social media platform. Like what I was gonna try to do. It was like my rough draft kind of thing, and I didn't like wrote on a whole essay. It was just like some details, like what I was gonna try to do on the future for my research, my final kind of thing. In the future, I could use this knowledge by doing my draft, not to do a whole essay in a draft and do it quickly. Just like put your ideas, whatever comes on your mind, try to like write it. But that is gonna be related to your topic. Is gonna help you get get to the final research project kind of essay kind of thing. About that you have to have a specific audience. It is not just for everyone. Like that in module 6, I believe so. It helps us like uh, right here for the call to action. It just like it tells you like who's your target audience. So for me, it was the people who are like right here. Well, my audience was like my target audience was the people who has been through it. That's on my topic, or have someone that they know that been through there. And also like in the past, I wouldn't explain. I would only talk. I wouldn't care who was my target audience, or if I had it to be like a specific. I had to have a specific audience, and that it was not like I didn't knew like that it was only for a specific audience. But in this class, I learned that by this is not to tell. By this is not like you trying to like have a target audience, because that topic is the nobody's gonna relate to it. So there's some people that relate towards that topic, and in the future I could use this knowledge by having a target audience or a specific audience that I want them to see my videos or know about my research. For question 2, I learned how to spot holes. So my secondary sources, like like gap in quotation. Like in the past, I would deal with like I by with this is like I didn't knew that I had it to do the gap in my secondary sources. Yeah, I didn't knew about it because nobody would talk to me about it. What it was missing about the perspective. In this class, I learned by creating a draft on gap by putting relevant information about my critique of my secondary sources. Like right here's my gap conversation that I did uh, for one of the modules. I think it was for module 4 that we did, and it was like the teacher gave us like certain questions like to critique or draft, not our draft but our secondary sources, and how border patrol, like my main question was how border patrol agents, like right here as I explain it, like they didn't look on my secondary sources, they didn't look at the immigrants perspectives. Like notice that this is still on the same topic as my research. This is that topic that I want to trying to research and the conversation kind of thing. Aside that, it will help me more research what is missing, and also like in the perspective, the best way to investigate this, it will be like doing interviews. It help you a lot, like the gap. It help you a lot, like to know what is missing on your research. Sure, I can use this knowledge by using this in my future research projects, by knowing what is missing perspective on my source secondary sources has, and it will be more easier for me because I already know what to do and what to expect on there, like what to do on it. Uh, Also, I learned for question two. I also learned when searching, we learn to use keywords to get better results for sources searches. In the past, I knew that I had only to search sources, but I didn't knew like to use the keywords. And also, in this class, I learned this by searching keywords on your question or topic related to your topic. Like, for example, mine, it was like what how immigrants perspective about border patrol communication towards them. I just put immigrants, or another topic I also, it was like about where if social media was affected um, towards academic success. So for that example, I used social media and academic sources success, and I found that, like, I searched it up and it came out this like one of the sources that you could use. I just look up this. I could use this knowledge by implementing my research paper or etc. by the research topic or question keywords, so I could find that specific uh, question or sources. Also, for question three, I learned when searching, we learn to use keywords to find better results, for to find the sources that you need for your research paper. In the past, I would do it like I would search the whole question to find uh my my sources, but in this class, I didn't like I thought it was like it was not a big deal if I use search it up like all the answers, but not the answers, but the question. Like, you just search out the question. I think it was fine. It was okay until this class. I learned by using keywords to find sources on Google Scholar or library database or any other things. For example, I use my keywords from my research topic for this class. It was immigrants, communication, border patrol. So like this one, it was the first one that came out on the Google Scholar. This is the sources, one of the sources that came out when you search that specific keywords. This knowledge by uh, telling my friends that how to use keywords, not using the whole question, so they could find uh, uh, the sources that they need for their topic question, and also like so it could be easier for them and for me for the I also learned that new sources, for finding new sources, not to trust Google and just use Google Scholars better. And so it's also the library databases also help. I knew that we had to search. I only knew that we had to search sources on Google or whatever we wanted it to, but I would use more Google. I didn't know that Google Scholar or library databases would exist until like Miss Bonnie would help us like in the first semester that I took her. She told like to use library databases or Google Scholar, so we could find like reliable and trustable sources. And also on Google, there's a bunch of sources that are not credible, and they use to use on your papers, not like trustworthy kind of thing. For example, here, this is like an article, a source that I found on Google compared to the one I found on Google Scholar. There's a big difference because here it's showing, it gives us more credible, and it gives like credit, and it's more like they they already revised it, their articles or sources, like however you wanted to call it, like. And over here is like, I don't, it's not like trustable kind of thing. Only on Google, but in Google Scholars, yeah, because they're already revised. Everybody like went over it. Sure, I could use this knowledge by finding sources on Google Scholar and library databases for trustable sources. And also, one of my professors from one of my courses also told like not to use Google, to use Google Scholar or library databases because it was more like trustable, and you could use it like on keywords kind of thing, and it was easier for us. Question 4. I learned finding that the right call to action that goes with your specific audience was hard. In the past, I would deal with this was by not knowing we had to make them an action towards the audience. In this class, I learned by creating a call to action for or social media. It's like this is just like a brainstorming kind of thing. It's like it helps us like who's your audience, what changes or additions that you want them to do, what action you want your audience to do. Like I want them to retain information and create a post in their experience, and that's it was like a questionnaire that you had to answer them so that you could know what are you trying to, what action you want them to know to do, your audience, your specific audience. In the future, I could use this knowledge by making a call to action for my audience. Also, like right here, it shows like I put some tips on how they can take the first steps to say, and this is a call to action that I was doing talking about. I was like, I need to change the video and more pictures that will get my audience attention. I was like, this was like the brainstorm that I did for the action that I wanted in mind. That's like a brainstorm kind of thing to make my audience to do, and it was very helpful, like to do that call to action kind of thing. Like I also in question 4, I also learned it depends on what action you can create the things that you want them to give examples or examples and to let your audience do what they want with the templates and lead by examples. Like right here I give like no, it's not an example like, but I put like a call to action what. And I also am doing I also do like a description. Please share your experience, perspectives on communication between border patrol agents or immigrants. But like I did like a description, but I don't think it was kind of hard like do that call to action kind of thing. Uh, in the future, I could use this knowledge by like put it on to put more effort, like to do the call to action is like the engage kind of thing, so you could so your audience could make a change. But like in the future, we'll use this, but like it will help me like do a better research kind of thing.